2023 took me on so many different adventures, by far the most I have ever been on. And especially this year, I encountered and filmed some of the most insane sights underwater. Between getting face to face with great hammerhead sharks, finding an underwater air chamber inside a cave, and exploring a 500-foot Navy shipwreck, I filmed my craziest adventures yet. I took 5 different ocean trips this year, and each one gave me so many different unique encounters. However, the one thing they all had in common was that I got up close and personal with so many different sharks. And the craziest was my remote dive in the Bahamas with great hammerhead and tiger sharks. What makes this location so unique is that it's one of the only places on the planet where you can regularly encounter hammerheads. Despite being one of the larger sharks like this 13-footer right here, they're actually pretty skittish. They don't like loud noises, other large sharks, or anything crazy under the surface. It's so tricky to find a place just like this, which is why it had been on my bucket list since I was a kid. Now, waiting for the sharks to show up was probably the hardest part. It could take 5 minutes or 5 hours before we had the sharks present. However, I got lucky enough on both dives where it only took 10 minutes for the hammerheads to show up. I spent a collective 4 hours with these sharks, and let me tell you, they are a lot bigger in person. This shark right here is named Gaia, and she measures at over 13 feet in length, one of the biggest great hammerheads on record. And at the time, she happened to be pregnant too. She made so many different close passes by me, and the sheer magnitude of this animal was unbelievable. Combined, I saw 4 different great hammerhead sharks. They've always been my favorite shark because of how well evolved they are. They are literally the definition of a marvel of evolution. However, the second day brought me a 12-foot female tiger shark. Tiger sharks are basically the complete opposite of hammerheads. Slower, not afraid of anything really at all, and love bumping into things and biting. That's why I had this PVC pipe with me underwater, because it's better to use that than my hand to stop a tiger shark in front of me. This was incredible. However, it wasn't the only time I got in the water with hammerheads. On my Florida Keys trip all the way back in March, I was lucky enough to get in the water with 12 different hammerhead sharks. Every spring, scalloped hammerhead sharks stop in the Florida Keys during their annual migration, and I had the once-in-a-lifetime encounter with them. I plan on being back in the Keys the same time in 2024 to hopefully get even closer with these sharks. Speaking of the Florida Keys, they are undoubtedly the diving capital of the United States. But this place isn't just full of beautiful reefs, it's also home to many different shipwrecks, due in large part to the incredibly shallow reefs. This right here is the Benwood Wreck, an incredibly popular spot for sea turtles. And this is the Spiegel Grove, a 500-foot Navy shipwreck in well over 100 feet of water. This is by far the most insane wreck I've ever seen. The sheer size of this wreck makes it impossible to explore the whole thing on one day of diving. The Spiegel has multiple cranes, helicopter pads, control rooms, and even multiple American flags. These deep wrecks are also a super highway for larger marine life, like jacks, barracuda, and yes, sharks. Every single dive I did on the Spiegel, I saw multiple reef sharks. They say there's a great hammerhead who loves to hang around this wreck, but I wasn't able to find her. Hopefully I can in the future though. Further north in Jupiter, Florida, I took my girlfriend shark diving for the very first time. This location is right off the Gulf Stream, which creates a super highway for sharks, especially bull sharks. We had over 10 of these bad boys show up on this day, so Selena seems to be good luck for sharks. Bull sharks are responsible for the most attacks every year in the United States, and are known to be more aggressive than other sharks due to a higher testosterone level. However, here in the open water, they look at us as just another predator in the ocean competing for resources. Continuing even further north in Florida, this cave right here is located in the central part of the state, and it's one of the only places on the planet where you can go into an air chamber and breathe. It's also home to Virgil the softshell turtle, who loves her on-camera time. Literally the definition of a diva. The opening room of this cave is the biggest I have ever seen, almost 100 feet wide at its largest point. However, the air chamber is the definite standout of this beautiful cave. My furthest trip of the year was to the planet's most remote location, Hawaii. More specifically, the island of Kauai. This island has the most stunning backdrop of any place I've ever been to, but the underwater adventures are endless here. And of course, there are sea turtles literally everywhere. This one almost bumped straight into my camera, and many more got close to me on this trip. The marine life around Kauai was insane. So many vast schools of fish, octopi, and venomous crown of thorns sea stars. Maybe the craziest encounter I had in Hawaii was getting inked by a Hawaiian octopus. This is their go-to defensive tactic to distract or scare away potential predators. I love encountering these guys while diving, they're just so unique. Hawaii also has these underwater lava tubes, where lava used to flow when an active volcano was on site. These tubes are basically a super highway for marine life because of its protection from open water. Now, all of these are big standouts from my 2023 adventures. I got to explore so many new places this past year, and I've got an even more epic lineup coming in 2024. But let's leave it with a montage of my best underwater moments that I haven't shared with you yet in this video.